Hey guys, welcome back to Rough and Stitch Options Trading. And today I wanted to do a quick recap on the Mag 7 stocks. Check out Q's, SPY, check out VIX, and then we'll discuss a trade that we took on Tesla, understand why we took that trade, and the risk reward in terms of that trade. So we'll go ahead and start with the Tesla trade that we took today. Why we took this trade is because Tesla had a key area that it kept rejecting right here at about $415.10. Let me just make this bigger. So we can see this level right here, 415 level, this right level right here. Tesla kept rejecting that, and that was a key area of interest. So we got into these Tesla puts on the 19th of Feb, held them through Friday, closed them on Monday. The risk reward for this trade. So, okay, let me back up just a little bit. So we got into this trade right at about $411.43. The stop was at 415. So if Tesla decided to go ahead and surpass this area, then this trade we would have closed it because we would have been stopped out. But anyway, on Friday, because of the tariff news, we can see Tesla tried to pump, got to about 414, almost very close to hitting our stop. But then Monday, another red candle, we can see it right here, and Tesla dropped all the way to 394. But for this trade, we did exit this trade at about this was about 396 dollars, about $396, and the risk reward for this trade was risking one to get approximately about 3.95, approximately 4. So this was an overall good trade. Not the best of trades, because most of the time when we are trading calls in our group, we always aim for 4 5 reward of about 4 5 multiples. But anyway, not complaining at all, not complaining. I'm taking that back. This was a good trade. I mean, risking one to get a reward of 3.95, approximately 4. So that's the trade that we took on Tesla. Tesla moving forward. Key areas, I'm seeing this 200, maybe Tesla can get to 388. I don't know. This candle right here, you can see it got to about 394. Some buyers stepped in. Remember this candle right here that led to that uprise? So you can see some buyers stepped in about here. Tesla closed about 399. So let's see tomorrow what happens. Maybe if we continue the way we are doing, maybe we may see another red candle, probably touch the 200, maybe not. We can only know tomorrow during the trading session. But this is an area I'm looking for, this 200. Hopefully we can get there. Other key areas I'm looking at, you have this area of 366. Not sure if we'll get there, but we want this thing, if it's going to continue with this trend of dropping, probably, bounce on the 200. Maybe we can see some buyers come in, hopefully, but that all depends on what the overall market sentiment is. If VIX keeps popping, we saw a pop on VIX today and expecting another pop. Hopefully, we can get another pop, so we can be rest assured that probably this downward trend is over. But in the event VIX decides to have another pop, maybe we can see price action go further down just a little bit more, and maybe start considering what to do at that point in time. But at the moment, Tesla, we can see it kind of stopped right about here. Let's see what happens next, if it's going to hold this area or not. Let's see what happens on the next trading sessions. I'm looking at Meta. Meta is still the same. We are in this same area. Let me go to the weekly time frame because this was a bit clearer to me. We are still in this box, about 628.59 to about 640. We are still playing in this box right here. Not sure if Meta is waiting for this 100 to catch up and bounce on this. Not very sure at this point. I mean, it could be that, it could not be that, but I'm looking forward to see if Meta maybe can, this 100 can catch up with Meta, and Meta can bounce around this area of 628. Hopefully, it can have a base there. Amazon, it's really a bit sketchy right now. Let's come to the daily. We are all the moving averages are up here. Amazon is down here. We can see it did a pop last week, and today again back to the usual trend: a pop and another drop, a pop and another drop. Just too choppy, in my opinion. Way too choppy, but let's see what happens. Amazon on the weekly, let me just see what this looks like. So on the weekly, we are still hanging around this 100. Hopefully, we can see Amazon bounce like we had on the previous scenario right here. We came and hung a little bit lower on the 100 and then pushed back up. Hopefully, this is the same exact setup that Amazon is trying to pull. We can only wait and see if it's going to get above the 100 and get some support right there, and probably start ascending. Microsoft, on the other hand, still kind of faked us a little bit, pretended to be forming a base right here about 396. Again, look at what happened today. uh, the daily will show you this much better. So we can see how Microsoft was pretending here. We had a dead cat bounce. See how it was pretending to hold this area right here at 396. Again, look at today's candle. Again, it still comes back to my original opinion that I had. We have a gap that's on Microsoft about 367 to $372. I want to see what Microsoft does. At this point, we really have to see a consolidation that holds, probably look on a higher time frame. If it decides to go ahead and hang around here, maybe confirm, add your confluence with the higher time frame. We can see it bounced over here, this area. It bounced on the 200, stayed above the 200. So the big question is it coming to hang around here? Maybe form a base right there. Let me draw this much better than that. Maybe Microsoft is trying maybe to come and form a base around here. Maybe that will help it on its way up. But we can only wait and see what the overall market is doing, because if the sentiment is still bearish, then we may see stocks pull a little bit more on the downside. Goog, on the other hand, still waiting to see what this thing does. At the moment, seems to be holding. It's doing way much better than everything else, but a bit overextended. I discussed this on a previous video. It's a bit overextended. You don't want to be in a situation where you say, okay, I'm going to get into Google calls. And again, this is in my opinion. You don't want to be in a situation where you say, okay, I'm going to get Google calls right here. And then this thing does an entire 360, and you find yourself, it's broken these key levels and it's descending further down. So same as Goog, that was Goog L, same as Goog, the same concept. Just hold on. My opinion is just, if you're trying to get into calls, and especially for us because we are swing traders, I mean, long opportunities are not here. They're really not here, because you don't want to enter, like a good example like Microsoft. You don't want to enter into a trade too quick, because of how the market is doing. You don't want to enter into a trade too quick, and then the stock continues pulling further much down, and that goes and affects your option contracts. Your delta is all screwed up, your theta is also screwed up, and all that stuff. So a little patience is good. Let's see what happens in the next on this week. See what happens, and maybe we can make a determination from there. But at the moment, Microsoft, I'm looking forward to probably around this 375, see what happens there. And maybe if Microsoft can come in here, this will even be even much better than the 200. Just my opinion, and where I'm looking to enter or go in on Microsoft. But let's wait and see. Let's have the drop. Let's have a consolidation. From there, we can reassess and see what we got. Apple, on the other side, still trying its very best to hold. But, again, the overall market is really affecting the performance of stocks. because you can see Apple had a good, this was on Tuesday. Let me go to the daily. You can see on Friday it did well. Today it kind of tried to do well, pushed to about 268, 269. Again, we are back to these moving averages. So in the event VIX has a pop, affects everything else, you can see maybe potentially Microsoft drops a little bit more. So again, a bit cautious on getting into calls right now, because we are seeing a lot of failed breakouts. Nvidia is the one that everybody is waiting for. Nvidia have their earnings are on, this is on Wednesday, 25th of Feb 26. So everybody is waiting to see what Nvidia does. I mean, we've seen for now the longest time there is a very big war going on between this area 190, 193. I mean, Nvidia, the bulls are really trying to push this thing up, but still the same thing, it keeps happening. It keeps failing, keeps failing, keeps failing, keeps failing, keeps failing. Now, question is, will the Nvidia earnings help Nvidia gap up above this area where it keeps failing and continue ascending up, or will the earnings push Nvidia further down? I really don't know what my opinion of that would be, because again, the market sentiment is a bit bearish. Maybe, I hear some people saying Nvidia is gonna be the savior and we'll start to see a pump. I really don't know, because I mean, their earnings, I don't really play earnings personally. I mean, I used to do that when I started trading. I lost so much money when I started trading, trying to gamble out of earnings. I no longer play earnings, but let's wait and see what Nvidia is going to do. If it gaps up, we'll see if that is going to be a catalyst for the entire market to start doing well, or maybe the final nail that's going to push everything further down. We can only wait and see what happens with Nvidia earnings. That's pretty much what I wanted to cover. Let's have a quick recap on VIX. Now, VIX, we can see that VIX was really trying to push. Today it got to about $21.96, maybe 22, for those who are rounding off. So VIX, two things here. If tomorrow, going into tomorrow's session, we see VIX open right about here and push further up, you're going to see what happens with the indices. Check the indices and see what happens, because from what I've seen previously, if VIX is popping, then you'll see that's going to increase the volatility and affect the indices, pushing the prices further down. QQQ, um, we are kind of now trading in a range. We have the bigger range and we have a tinier range going on around here. um Not very sure about QQQ seems to be the weakest in the bag. Spy is really, really trying to hold things together, but under the hood, Qs don't look that good. I mean, we are under these moving averages. We are just playing in between the 100 and the 200. We are just dancing in there. Worst case scenario, we can see Qs maybe catch up with the 200, because this is an area of interest right here. Maybe Q's worst case scenario we can get here, or worst case scenario we can just keep chopping up here until we see where smart money is trying to hide the cards, and see if it's going to keep going up or it's going to come back down. But Q's, that's the overall, it's a mixed bag. It's neither bullish, neither bearish. We're just there hanging out. Spice, the same case. Still just hanging out in this box. We've been hanging out in this box for the longest time. I mean, since October to date, we're just hanging out in this box. We can see some peekaboos, peekaboos, but hey, look at what happens. We are pushed back into this box. So I'm not sure if Nvidia earnings is going to be the savior of all this. Is it the tariffs that are going to be the catalyst for the downward move? Really, no idea, because it's a chop. You don't really know what's going on here. And as retail traders, I mean, we don't have the kind of money that smart money has to, you know, either push a stock to go further up or push it to go further down. So let's wait and see what happens. And just in my opinion, jumping into calls right now, if you want to go long, I think it's a bit too early. Let's wait and see what determination the market presents to us. Wait and see if stocks are making a real consolidation base, not breaking the support of that base. Then maybe you can say, this particular stock has finally had its base, and the buyers are stepping in at that point. Let's look at Hood real quick. So when I speak about a base, I'm talking about, you see how the stock has dropped. What you want to see is a base right here, and maybe we can start seeing that type of a pattern. But then again, let's wait and see. We don't know what VIX is going to pull tomorrow, what stunt VIX is going to pull tomorrow. Let's wait and see. If it continues further high, then you're definitely going to see the impact of that on the indices as well as the other stocks. So that's all I wanted to share today, guys. Thank you much for watching. Like our videos, comment on our videos, subscribe on our channel so that when we post market updates, you can get them in real time. Thank you for your time, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.